Pig and Whistle Tales from Azeroth. As always, here at the Pig and Whistle Inn in Stormwind, I go through a variety of subjects with regards to World of Warcraft. So grab a bottle or a pint, sit back and enjoy this midweek podcast, and we're going over the, probably the 10th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I was close. The ninth dungeon in the Rate My Dungeon series, and that ninth dungeon is Uldaman. Now, Uldaman is in the middle of the pack. It's at level 36 to 40-ish, that kind of level range. It's located in... Is it Badlands? Is it called the Badlands? No, it's not called the Badlands. Blasted Lands? No, it's not called... No, it is Badlands. I'm losing the plot. It is Badlands. So... It is located in Badlands, the very north. You have to run it through the southern part of Loch Modan to get there. For Horde, I'm pretty sure it's very much the same. So it's a bit more annoying to get to there as a Horde player, but still quite accessible, essentially. Uldaman itself has 10 bosses. Now, this is a bit weird because with a potential 7 bosses... Yeah, you heard that right. 10 bosses in total with a potential 7. 3 of these bosses, if you are Alliance, do not count as bosses as they are dwarves and you are friendly with the dwarves. So essentially, you lose 3 bosses. It's quite annoying. But yeah, 10 bosses in total for the Horde, 7 for the Alliance. Is it complicated, its layout? Is it ever? So it's very much a cave system, kind of like that of the Wailing Caverns. Not as crazy. Wailing Caverns, you can easily get lost. Uldaman, if you look or if you keep an eye on the minimap, you will figure it out quite easily. So essentially, it's very simple at the start. It's sort of 2 rectangles, and then it leads into this maze, this cluster. Now, this cluster looks terrifying and confusing, but think of it as just a big ball with sort of tendrils coming out, like 6 sort of tendrils coming out near the top, or put like around a semicircle around it, that kind of thing. And then each of these tendrils has a boss, essentially. It's very, very simple once you get over the visual of it on the minimap, at least. For casual players and those who are new to the game and first doing Uldaman, you will be a bit confused, as there'll be this giant locked room and you don't necessarily know how to open it. There's a giant boss behind there and there's a quest to do behind there, but you have no idea how to open it. If you are in need of that, what you have to do is pick up a amulet that is near the dwarves' location. It will be on the table in a small chest. You open the chest, you get a amulet, and then the boss that is just before that open room will drop a stick or something. He'll drop a stick. You essentially combine the two and you put it into the map that is on the floor in that room, and that will summon the boss and open the door. It's something that a lot of new players don't realise and understand. A lot of experienced players don't get it as well. They will just run past it, forget that it's there, but it is there, and make sure that you utilise that very much so. The gear that you get from Uldaman is quite decent, to be honest. There's a lot of caster and physical DPS gear. It ranges in all different forms. Essentially, what you're looking for is to go in there for the XP, as there is a lot of mobs in there that give good XP, as well as quests. There's a few quests that you can do inside this instance, and one of the best quests that you can do is the one at the very end. There's these discs after the last boss, and essentially these discs, you right click and you just have to get someone to tell you a story that's right next to them, and you get a ton of XP for it. It is a dungeon quest, so you get a lot of XP for it, and it is worth doing this. And then you take it back to someone in Ironforge. Very simple, and you do want to do Uldaman for the dungeon experience itself, obviously, as well as the XP, because it is one of the more heavier XP gains when you are leveling as a dungeon in dungeon content anyway. Has it had a revamp? It has. It has had 2, actually. The first revamp just made it a bit more streamlined in telling where the players should go, or like in terms of the bosses. Made them a bit more, high resolution, simpler, easier to find and stuff like that. Gave it a map, essentially, as well. And the second revamp is in Dragonflight, and it has just been released to the public. And essentially, what you can do is go into it now, but you have to do it through the dungeon or group finder. You can't do it through signing yourself up as DPS. You've got to actually look for players to do it. And it's been changed from a 10 boss raid 10 boss dungeon to about a 5 boss dungeon, I'm pretty sure. Very more streamlined. It's very, very streamlined. It's you don't have that cluster in the middle like you usually did and stuff like that. So very simple, very good. And I've yet to do it, but hopefully it'll be good. There's a lot of lore stuff in there, which is really fun. It's always good when they add lore into dungeons. But yeah, essentially it's had a little revamp once or twice, and it's better for the most part. But the classic version is still very, very fun, kind of like Sunken Temple, and Sunken Temple will be on the list very soon. I would imagine it's not that far away. But that is it for this weekly episode. Oh, no, wait. No, it isn't. I'm completely lying to you there. I'm so sorry. What would I rate the dungeon? In terms of how complicated it is, well, I say complicated. It isn't complicated. It's very much just a ball with tendrils in the middle. I'd give it a solid 7. The XP that you gain in there is fantastic. The loot that's in there is very, very solid. The only thing that is a bit annoying is making your way first time through this like little cavern area, and you don't know, if you're not paying attention to your minimap, you've probably gone back on yourself and not realised. You might have skipped a boss because you didn't pick up the necessary items for it, etc. So, a solid 7 out of 10 I would give it. But now, once again, that is it for this week. Thank you all very much for listening. As always, be sure to check out the Patreon podcast. There's ad-free content going on out there, as well as YouTube and Twitch. Twitch is constantly happening. Every Wednesday and Sunday are the main days where there will be a raid. Everything else is subject to change, but Wednesday and Sunday, please tune in. The link to the Twitch is down below. Give it a check, or check it out at least. Once again, thank you very much, and go with Valor, friend. Goodbye all.